Hello, in this video I will explain how to use our interactive data labeling interface and show some examples of the task. Please watch the video carefully to have a successful qualification. This task is about annotating interaction between a human and an object. Let's introduce the interface that you will be using. The interface of the annotation tool has three main elements. First one is the reference image, which you will always see on the left side. This image represents the interaction that you have to label in the current task. The green text box above the image on the right side shows which object we are annotating in this task. Here it is a surfboard. This means that we only care about the part of the image where the human is touching the surfboard. For example, if this person also had a guitar in his hands, that would not matter, we only care about the surfboard in this task. Next, on the right side of the screen, there are two squares below each other. Both of these squares contain a 3D viewer. The top box shows the human body. Here we see a gray 3D human body. As the instructions say on the top, you can hold and drag the left mouse button to rotate the human body. You can hold and drag the right mouse button to move it around. And you can hold and drag the mouse wheel button to zoom in and out. Very similarly, the box below it shows a 3D viewer of the object, which is a surfboard in this case. And very similarly to the human above, you can rotate with the left click, move with the right click, and zoom in and out by clicking and holding the mouse wheel button. But make sure that you don't click the object, only click next to it. Clicking on the object will do something else that I am explaining very soon. If by accident you moved or rotated or zoomed too much and now you got into a confusing position, you can always click on the Reset View button inside the 3D viewers to reset the orientation to the initial status. Like this and like this. Now pay attention to the other green text box above the image on the left side of the text box that shows the object's name. Here it says left foot. This means that in this task, in this current step, we have to annotate the person's left foot on our object, which is a surfboard. Okay, so let's do one task, one image from start to finish. Let's start by positioning the human body in such a way that we can see the left foot clearly on the body. Here we can see a green area, a red line, and the blue ball. The green area is just the part of the left foot that is in contact with the surfboard on the reference image on the left. The red line and the blue ball are here to help you position this green area. Now comes the most important part. The annotation task here is to transfer this green contact area to the correct part of the surfboard below. So let's position the surfboard in such a way that it matches the image. This will help us understand what is happening and we can distinguish between left and right better. Now we can transfer the contact by clicking on the surfboard object twice. The first click should be where the blue ball was. Here it was at the toes, so let's try to click on the part of the surfboard where the left toes should be. Good. We can see the blue dot on the surfboard too now. The second click now should be somewhere where the red line should go. On the human above, the red line is going toward the heels, so I click in this direction. Perfect. Now you can see the red line too, and you can see a foot-shaped green patch of contact on the surfboard. If you made errors, you can try again by just clicking again. See, I clicked and it only shows the blue dot now. I click again and now there is a new position for the green area. After the first click, imagine where the red line would go. You can click anywhere on this imaginary line, very close and very far too, it doesn't matter. See, it shows the same output. Now that we are ready with the left foot, and we also double check that it looks good, we can scroll down and click Next Contact. This is very similar now. The body part label here now says right foot. If we look at the human, now the right foot has the green area and the blue ball and the red line. So we do exactly the same as before. The first click is for the blue ball, then the second click is in the direction of the red line. Looks good. We can click the next contact button. Now the body part name says all. This means that we have finished with all contact areas, and this step is only to double check if every contact looks good. If we like the result, now we can click Submit Your Answer button to finish the task. But if we don't like the result, for example here, the left leg could be a little bit closer to the edge, we can use the drop down below the Submit button to go back to a previous body part. We want to modify the left foot. We see that the left foot area is green again on the object. This means we can just click again to change it. So one click for the blue ball, second click for the red line, and it's ready, looking much better. So we can click Next Contact button until we get to the end, and now we double check and we can submit the task. When you click to submit, a confirmation window will pop up. Here you have a few possibilities to signal different kinds of errors to us. The first checkbox says the contact on the human did not match the image. When you go through the body parts in a task, if a body part is not actually in contact with the object, then don't transfer any contact in that step, just click the next contact button to go to the next body part. Very rarely it could happen that none of the body parts are correct, so you did not transfer anything. In that case, check this checkbox before you submit. For example, imagine a picture where someone is holding a baseball bat in the left hand, but the task wants you to annotate the right hand only, and there is no left hand to annotate in any of the steps. Then you will end up not transferring any contact regions, and you should select this option before submitting. Very rarely it can happen that the object in the image is completely different than what is in the bottom right object 3D viewer. For example, the 3D object is a laptop, but there is no laptop in the image at all. In that case, don't annotate anything, just click Next Contact until the end and then submit after selecting this checkbox. If the object is just a little different, for example the image shows a bench with armrest, but the 3D object doesn't have an armrest, then try to transfer the possible contacts and submit without selecting this checkbox. And finally, if you have any other comments regarding the current task, you can write that in the text box at the bottom. But this is optional, so you can just click the OK button to submit the task. There are a few more things that you should know to make your work better. First one is, if you cannot see some parts of the object or the human, imagine interacting with the object as in the image and use your common sense to decide what is the contact between them. For example, here you cannot see the feet, but it is still very obvious where they are touching the snowboard, so we position the human, then position the object, and we can transfer first the left foot, click Next Contact, and then again position the human so we don't confuse left and right, and then we can transfer the right foot, and we are ready, so we can submit this. Second tip, if there are some very small contact areas that are next to other body parts that have big contact areas, you should not transfer these small contact areas and continue on with the next body part. Similarly, skip a body part contact if there is no space on the object where to transfer it to. For example, when transferring the contact of a hand gripping the motorbike's handle, the hand itself is very important to annotate, but the very small part on the wrist should be skipped. 3. Hand and finger contact on an object can sometimes be tricky to transfer. You might need to retry a few times. Here you can see a tennis racket held in the right hand. Look at the 4 annotation examples. You can see that clicking just a little bit wrong can lead to a very wrong contact transfer. So pay attention to where the blue ball and the red line is inside the green contact area on the human body. And finally, two more general tips. Try to not confuse left and right. Rotate the 3D viewers to a position where it is easy to decide what is left and what is right. And try to not transfer the contact areas upside down. Remember that the blue ball that you get from the first click is the starting point of the contact area. Thank you for paying attention to these instructions. We know that this might be a lot to process, so feel free to go back and rewatch parts of this video if you are not sure about something. We hope that you will enjoy doing this task.